Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition. December 24, 2024, featuring crypto, politics. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition. December 24, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 13th to December 19th, 2024. APT. Collaboration by Rose and Bruno Mars. Die with a Smile. Joint work by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Peelings. Composition by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Aaj Ki Rat. Performance by Madhu Bandi Bagchi and Divya. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, from Friday, December 13th to Thursday, December 19th, 2024. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, and Last Christmas by Wham. Nintendo US digital top sellers starting December 24, 2024. Hogwarts Legacy, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Okami HD, Ego Protocol, Remastered. Steam's most popular games. Discover the global top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, to Tuesday, December 24th, 2024. Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, Path of Exile 2, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, Elden Ring. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA has issued guidance on best practices for mobile communications. Additionally, CISA has released BOD 25-01 to enforce secure practices for cloud services. Furthermore, CISA and OECD have collaborated on a playbook aimed at enhancing cybersecurity in federal grant programs for critical infrastructure. Lastly, CISA is seeking public feedback on a draft update to the National Cyber Incident Response Plan. One more drop in the AI ocean. Taiyui's Falcon 3-10B Instruct. The Falcon 3 family of Open Foundation models consists of pre-trained and instruct LLMs with parameter sizes ranging from 1 billion to 10 billion. At the time of its release, Falcon 3-10B Instruct demonstrated state-of-the-art performance in reasoning, language understanding, instruction following, code, and mathematics tasks. It supports 4 languages: English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, and can handle a context length of up to 32,000 tokens. North Korea is accused of a $305 million hack on the Japanese crypto exchange DMM in May, with hackers allegedly stealing $1.3 billion in crypto this year. Russia has banned crypto mining for 6 years in 10 regions due to energy concerns, according to TASS. Hyperliquid experienced a $60 million USDC outflow amid worries about North Korean hackers. Federal authorities in the U.S. have issued a warning that SMS authentication is unsafe following what they describe as the worst hack in our nation's history. The government has also advised against using SMS codes for two-factor authentication, 2FA, on iPhones and Android devices. Additionally, the FTC has reported that the massive Marriott and Starwood data breaches necessitate 13 corrective actions. Furthermore, the U.S. government plans to reveal the key witness who supplied the FBI with a backdoored encrypted chat app called Anim. Donald Trump's son shares an image of his father purchasing Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal. The BBC notes that Denmark enhances Greenland's defense following Trump's renewed interest in U.S. control. And Greenland's prime minister emphasizes, "We are not for sale," after Trump proposes U.S. ownership. Hong Kong police impose $1 million Hong Kong bounties on 6 additional activists. South Korea transitions into a super-aged society, with 20% of its population aged over 65, confronting demographic challenges. Biden administration eliminates rules to increase birth control availability. Cardinal Dolan compares Trump's spiritual path to America's renewed focus on God during difficult periods. Trump announces intention to pursue the death penalty for violent criminals. BYD construction site in Brazil closed due to slavery-like conditions. In the U.S., the CFPB has filed a lawsuit against Walmart and Branch Messenger for unlawfully opening deposit accounts for over 1 million delivery drivers, resulting in Walmart and Branch collecting more than $10 million in junk fees through the Spark Driver program. In the UK, King Charles has terminated royal warrants for Unilever, the owner of Ben & Jerry's, and Cadbury chocolatiers. Reuters indicates that several OnlyFans accounts allegedly involved child sex abuse, according to investigator reports. Malaysian authorities conduct child pornography raids in anticipation of the social media licensing deadline. The government has confirmed the deadline as January 1, 2025, as stated by Minister Fahmi. Iran removes bans on WhatsApp and Google Play, pledging greater online access. Lilium, a company developing flying taxis, has terminated the employment of 1,000 individuals and halted its business activities. CATL has introduced the Bedrock chassis, which is capable of enduring a 120 km/h impact without igniting or exploding. Nissan and Honda have declared their intention to merge, forming the world's third-largest automotive manufacturer. AirPods generated sales exceeding $18 billion last year, surpassing the total revenue of Nintendo. Netflix has filed a lawsuit against Broadcom's VMware concerning U.S. virtual machine patents. MicroStrategy is seeking the authority to issue a sufficient number of shares to purchase the entire global supply of Bitcoin. An explosion at a Turkish ammunition plant results in the deaths of 11 individuals. The former royal family of Greece reacquires citizenship, adopting the surname de Greece. China achieves a global record by launching a polar-ready flat-top cargo ship weighing 58,000 tons. Jujutsu Kaisen is the top-selling manga of 2024. Users have filed a lawsuit against Discord, alleging that the Nitro subscription is excessively challenging to cancel. A research study reveals that 75% of Facebook shares are done without the person having read the content. Ant Group divides Alipay into two separate business units as part of its recent restructuring efforts. According to Reuters, Synopsys' proposed $35 billion acquisition of Onsys is expected to receive approval from the EU, as indicated by sources. Apple is approaching a significant milestone in the U.S. stock market, nearing a valuation of $4 trillion. Syrian former rebel groups unite under the Defense Ministry's supervision. Turkey reports that more than 25,000 Syrians have returned to their homeland since the fall of Assad. Saudi Arabia carries out the execution of 330 individuals in 2024, marking the highest number in decades, even amidst claims of reform. Amazon reportedly requested Chinese sellers to avoid pricing their products lower than Temu. Goldman Sachs disclosed that China's economic stimulus will help mitigate the impact of U.S. tariffs in 2025. The U.S. banking lobby has filed a lawsuit against the Federal Reserve concerning the stress test framework. Centuries-old floor patched with sliced bones discovered in the Netherlands. In the U.S., EPA approves pilot project to make road out of radioactive material in Florida. Owner of dog meat restaurant in Vietnam dies of rabies. Christopher Nolan's upcoming film is a modern take on Homer's legendary work, The Odyssey. A report supported by the U.S. Department of Energy suggests that the power consumption of data centers in the country might almost triple by the year 2028. 3 individuals are unaccounted for following intense weather conditions that struck northern Italy. Drinking tea or coffee daily may lower the risk of mouth and throat cancer. The FDA in the U.S. suggests discontinuing oral phenylephrine as the over-the-counter monograph active ingredient for nasal decongestants, following a thorough review. A newly discovered scorpion species uses a spitting mechanism to protect itself. Get your daily news fix with NewsSourceScrawler's latest edition, December 22, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. PT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die with a Smile. Madhubanti Bakshi and Divya present A.J. Key Rat. Feelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die with a Smile, Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, and Wham's Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top seller starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy fueled up, Master Spy, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024, to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis ImageLarge is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. A large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. Tether plans to allocate up to $3 billion for investments in the year 2025. Apple has started phasing out the iPhone SE and iPhone 14 models in the European Union in anticipation of the upcoming USB-C standard requirement. According to the 2024 Open Source Software Funding Report, the majority of the contribution value, which is 86%, is derived from employee labor. Albania imposes a one-year ban on TikTok following the death of a teenager. Sega is exploring a subscription service similar to Netflix for games. Google announces it will not mandate Gemini on partners as part of its antitrust proposal. U.S. Commerce Secretary Raimondo declares that attempting to slow China in the chip race is an irrational pursuit. Russia has reportedly developed a roadmap for producing a cost-effective and straightforward lithograph, surpassing ASML's complexity. Experts and lawmakers anticipate that U.S. agriculture will become a new frontier in cybersecurity in the coming year. Top AI chatbots exhibit cognitive decline similar to dementia in tests, prompting concerns about their potential role in medicine. A survey indicates that the majority of U.S. teenagers are avoiding alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana. New research highlights that Black adults with long COVID experience elevated feelings of hopelessness and suicidal ideation. Accenture's generative AI sales achieve unprecedented $4.2 billion. Broadcom's CEO Hock Tan predicts the AI spending surge will persist until the decade's conclusion. It is said that OpenAI's GPT-5 is not meeting anticipated standards. Wall Street Journal. White House aide shielded Biden from public interaction. Reason: Joe Biden attempted to utilize the regulatory state to oversee all aspects. Biden approves legislation to finance the government until March 2025. Trump designates The Apprentice producer as a special envoy to Britain. Vatican moves forward with beatification process for Belgium's former king, who abdicated to avoid approving abortion. 11 years ago, King Albert II of Belgium stepped down in favor of his son. In his Christmas message, Pope Francis condemns gossip among Vatican employees. Europol reports that cartels, mafias, and gangs in Europe are exploiting fruit companies, hotels, and other legitimate businesses as fronts. Scientists suggest that Uranus and Neptune might have oceans extending 5,000 miles deep. The NHTSA proposes a national program for vehicles with automated driving systems, creating a voluntary review and reporting framework to evaluate and oversee specific vehicles equipped with these systems. It has been speculated that Elon Musk is so wealthy he could purchase every MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL team and still have money remaining. Trump warns Panama could lose control of the canal if it keeps exploiting the U.S. Elon Musk asserts that constructing a tunnel from London to New York would be as £15.7 billion if he were to undertake the project. Italy's Prime Minister declares that the EU will not permit Russia or other nations to jeopardize security via immigration. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, December 21, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. PT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die With a Smile. Madhu Banti Bakshi and Divya present A.J. Ki Rat. Feelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die With a Smile. Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. And Wham's Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top seller starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy, Fueled Up, Master Spy, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024, to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis ImageLarge is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. A large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. U.S. data center power consumption might almost triple by 2028, according to a report supported by the Department of Energy. Google plans to provide AI-generated conversational responses in its search engine. Sam Altman regards Elon Musk as a friend despite ongoing lawsuits and bullying, as describes Musk as a bully, yet a legendary entrepreneur. Putin indicates no immediate plans to conclude the Ukraine conflict during extended TV session. European Union has allocated 130 billion euros in aid for Ukraine, according to von der Leyen. Ukrainian Prime Minister announces cessation of Russian gas transit through Ukraine on January 1, 2025. Ascension, a U.S. hospital operator, announced that 5.6 million individuals were impacted by a medical data breach that occurred in May. Meanwhile, McDonald's India delivery system allegedly revealed personal customer information because of an API bug. Additionally, the U.S. has charged a dual Russian and Israeli national with being a developer of the Lockbit ransomware group. CFPB takes legal action against JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo regarding fraudulent Zelle payments. In the United States, Meta's WhatsApp receives a court decision that holds the spyware developer NSO responsible for hacking, with the judge determining that the NSO group is liable for spyware attacks on 1,400 WhatsApp user devices. The Play ransomware gang asserts a breach in data theft at Krispy Kreme. Italian privacy watchdog imposes $15.5 million fine on OpenAI for data usage in ChatGPT. Malaysia declares Facebook and TikTok required to obtain license, according to NST reports. The European Union urges Apple to make AirDrop and AirPlay accessible to Android and other platforms. Google proposes to relax its search agreements in the U.S. antitrust case settlement. Qualcomm asserts victory in its trial with ARM regarding chip design licenses. Over 140 Facebook moderators in Kenya have been diagnosed with severe PTSD. Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney unexpectedly reunited in London to perform a timeless Beatles classic. FIFA and Netflix have entered into a groundbreaking agreement to broadcast the 2027 and 2031 editions of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Blue Sky is planning to launch a paid subscription tier that will offer exclusive features. Elon Musk sparks backlash with post claiming only far-right AfD can save Germany. Harvard Law enrollment plummets for Black and Hispanic students, as Black enrollment at Harvard Law lowest since 1960s after affirmative action ruling. Fox News reports that tech journalist putting together investor group to buy Washington Post rejects Elon Musk in advance. Trump wants 5% NATO defense spending target, Europe told, and Trump says European Union must buy U.S. oil and gas in trade ultimatum. Alaska governor asks Trump to roll back restrictions on oil and gas drilling. Trump team warns Starmer's horrible, arrogant ambassador pick means Britain will be locked out of key discussions, as Trump campaign advisor calls incoming UK ambassador to US a moron. Trump attributes any potential shutdown to President Biden, stating it is his responsibility to resolve. The government funding bill has successfully passed and is now on its way to Biden, effectively preventing a shutdown. Meanwhile, Steve Bannon advocates for raising taxes on the affluent. Additionally, the Social Security Fairness Act has been forwarded to Biden, aiming to repeal provisions that diminish Social Security benefits for individuals who also receive other benefits. Tayyip O'Shan must pay $123 million for misleading investors about Terra USD's stability. A Romanian national in the U.S. is sentenced to 20 years for NetWalker ransomware attacks, which led to millions in ransom payments. In the U.S., a theft of 5 million payment card details serves as a cautionary reminder to monitor Christmas spending. Volkswagen has reportedly reached an agreement with the union following intense negotiations. It has been mentioned that the Volkswagen union indicated that labor negotiations were at a standstill after 4 days of discussions. In Switzerland, the world's steepest cable car has been unveiled, which ascends to the James Bond revolving restaurant. Additionally, NASA and Axiom Space are reportedly speeding up their plans for a free-flying space station. Stonehenge might have been built to bring together early British farming communities, according to research. Malaysia has decided to initiate a fresh search for the MH370 plane, which disappeared 10 years ago with 239 individuals on board. Nigerian officials have confiscated 2.179 tons of pangolin scales and apprehended a significant broker. Russia has enacted a law prohibiting migrant children from attending schools unless they are proficient in Russian. This move has been criticized for potentially increasing economic and security challenges. Meanwhile, China's Global Times has remarked that the spy drone incident highlights the U.S. as a source of delusion and irrationality. Additionally, thousands have gathered at the U.S. Embassy in Cuba to protest against the trade embargo. Mexicans blame U.S. for arms trafficking and reject the possibility of foreign agents operating on their territory, as it has been reported that Mexico devastated by iron river of guns from U.S. Pentagon says it doubled the number of U.S. troops in Syria before Assad's fall, and U.S. lifts $10 million bounty on HTS leader after talks in Syrian capital. 7 days ago, it has been reported as Syrian rebel leader said, territory will not be used to launch attacks against Israel. Palestinian Americans sue Biden over failure to evacuate relatives stuck in Gaza. Israeli settlers set mosque on fire in occupied West Bank. At least 2 dead as car slams into crowded Christmas market in Germany. Saudi doctor who crashed into German Christmas market, killing at least 2, is an anti-Islam activist, claimed in a 7-year-old dies in stabbing attack at Croatia school. Russia's central bank maintains its key interest rate at 21%. During a lengthy live event, Putin reflects that he should have initiated a full-scale invasion of Ukraine earlier. The Russian government mandates IPS to disclose the identities of VPN users, continuing its crackdown a year after the ban of the Shadow Socks protocol. In Germany Christmas market attack, Saudi doctor arrested, after 2 killed and 68 injured. Saudi Arabia warned Germany ahead of Christmas market ramming, source claims. Houthis fire a ballistic missile named Palestine 2 at Tel Aviv. It has been commented as Netanyahu to skip Auschwitz liberation event in Poland over ICC arrest fears. GitHub is facing a significant issue with 4.5 million inauthentic stars, which is causing confusion among users. Meanwhile, Microsoft has acknowledged an auto HDR bug in Windows 11, and has consequently halted updates. Additionally, Tether has announced a $775 million investment in the video-sharing platform Rumble, leading to a remarkable 41% increase in RUM shares. Research highlights 13 proteins significantly linked to brain aging, with these proteins appearing to increase at ages 57, 70, and 78. The FDA has given the green light to Zepbound tirzepatide as the sole prescription medication for moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea in adults with obesity. Initially, Zepbound was approved for weight reduction. A group showcases the first instance of quantum teleportation using congested internet cables. Pharrell, Elton John, and Lainey Wilson are included in the Oscars Best Original Song shortlist. Levi's is collaborating with Bob Dylan to recreate his wardrobe for A Complete Unknown. An animated Ghostbusters movie is being developed by Sony Animation and Netflix. Get your daily news fix with NewsSource Scrawler's latest edition, December 20, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. PT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die with a Smile. Madhu Banti Bakshi and Divya present A.J. Ki Rat. Feelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die with a Smile. Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. And Wham's Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top seller starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy, Fueled Up, Master Spy, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024, to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis ImageLarge is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. A large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. UK Arts and Media reject plan to let AI firms use copyrighted material. Lil Wayne's AI Kendrick Lamar diss track goes viral and causes confusion. Anthropic announced alignment faking in large language models answer, where the model believes its responses won't be used for training. In 2024, a total of $2.2 billion was stolen from cryptocurrency platforms. However, the volume of hacks remained relatively stable as the year progressed, with activity from the DPRK slowing significantly after July. Research indicates that Bitcoin would require more than 300 consecutive days of downtime to effectively protect itself from the looming threat of quantum computing. Bloomberg notes that the removal of Tether could jeopardize Europe's opportunity to participate in the anticipated cryptocurrency boom, led by Trump. Bloomberg's editor-in-chief asserts that paywalls are the most secure method to ensure job stability for journalists. Mozilla warns that the proposed contractual remedies in the United States versus Google case could jeopardize the essential function of independent browsers. New Zealand becomes the first country to offer a nationwide direct-to-smartphone Starlink service. Trump's border czar states that he requires funding and a minimum of 100,000 beds to implement deportation plans. Advocates reportedly train immigrants to prepare to stay in the U.S. during Trump's administration. It has been reported that, as landowners resist, Texas border wall is fragmented and constructed in remote locations. Donald Trump expresses a desire to lead the charge in eliminating the debt ceiling and warns of a government shutdown if his demand for a debt limit increase is not met, attributing blame to Biden if such an event occurs. Rand Paul suggests Elon Musk as a candidate for House Speaker. Paris Hilton considers a potential political campaign, following her successful advocacy for an at-risk youth bill. Japan considers nuclear the most affordable baseload power source by 2040 and aims for 40 to 50% of its power supply to come from renewables by the same year. Biden establishes an economy-wide climate goal, cutting emissions by 66% in 2035 compared to 2005 levels. A regulator warns that half of the U.S. faces a high risk of power shortages in the coming decade, as NERC highlighted the urgent need for resources over the next 10 years due to accelerating electricity demand growth, according to the 2024 LTRA. Parliament approves legislation permitting foreign banks to conduct business in Ethiopia. Syria's biggest refinery ceases operations due to the halt in Iranian oil supply. The UK election watchdog seeks new donation regulations to address potential influence from Elon Musk. It is reported that Elon Musk is contemplating financial support for Nigel Farage's Populist Party, which could significantly impact UK politics. With Gaza death trap Doctors Without Borders, the MSF report exposes Israel's campaign of total destruction. White House says Biden will visit Pope Francis and Italy's PM Meloni in final international trip of his presidency. A report from Israel claimed, soldiers say open fire policies in Gaza too loose, leading to civilian deaths. Amazon postpones return to office requirement for many employees because of lack of office space. FedEx is separating its freight division, forming FedEx Freight spinoff to establish the biggest LTL carrier. Research indicates Waymo's autonomous taxi system offers much greater safety than human drivers. Men die from pneumonia after using bat poop to grow marijuana. It has been commented that copyright abuse is getting Luigi Mangione merch removed from the internet, as United Health gets Luigi Mangione t-shirt pulled with copyright complaint. Disturbing murder case solved after Google Street View catches suspected killer putting body in trunk. Research indicates the initial proof of ancient religious practices in a Galilee cave, with a 35,000 years old tortoise shell carving potentially representing the Holy Land's earliest ritual behavior. A silver amulet discovered in a Frankfurt grave is considered the oldest evidence of Christianity, located north of the Alps. The sarcophagus of the real Santa Claus has been found in a Turkish church annex. Youth drug use in the U.S. is experiencing a significant decline following the pandemic. Veteran suicides have decreased since 2018, according to a new VA report, but they continue to be persistently steady. Immigration is propelling U.S. population growth to its highest rate in 23 years, with residents surpassing 340 million. A former high-ranking assistant to New York City's mayor has been indicted in a bribery conspiracy. In Malaysia, a court has cleared Najib's wife, Rasma, of charges related to money laundering and tax evasion. According to recent SEC filings, Trump has moved all his DJT shares into his revocable trust. Russia will continue to pose a threat to Europe after the Ukraine conflict, according to Finland. Estonia's chief intelligence officer emphasizes that NATO must deter Russia for the next decade to two. Meanwhile, Putin states that Russia is prepared to negotiate with Trump regarding the Ukraine war. Additionally, Hungary has granted rare political asylum to a fugitive Polish peace lawmaker, following Poland's issuance of an arrest warrant for the opposition politician facing criminal charges 8 days prior. Pakistan is reportedly working on missiles that could potentially reach the United States, according to a senior U.S. official. Meanwhile, a Pentagon report indicates that China has almost tripled its nuclear weapons since 2020. Additionally, Elon Musk's criticism of F-35s has sparked a discussion about the high cost of these fighter jets. In response, the Air Force Secretary has countered Musk's remarks on eliminating manned fighters, emphasizing he is not a warfighter. Real Madrid secures victory against Pachuca to claim the FIFA Intercontinental Cup. The global box office is anticipated to reach $33 billion by 2025. LeBron James becomes the NBA's all-time leader in regular season minutes played, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. U.S. economy expands at a rate of 3.1% in the third quarter, surpassing the earlier forecast. Research indicates that California's $20 minimum wage for fast food employees has not negatively impacted employment. IC deportations in FY 2024 have reached levels comparable to those during the Trump administration, as the Biden administration nears its conclusion. Microplastics in the air may be leading to lung and colon cancers. In the U.S., the FDA announced an update the healthy claim that manufacturers can voluntarily use on food packages, which contain a certain amount of recommended food and meet specific limits in sugars, fat, and sodium. California squirrels have developed a taste for meat in surprise discovery. Syrian interim government plans to disclose a list of names of former Assad regime officials who are wanted. Putin declared that Russia transported 4,000 Iranian troops from Syria to Tehran, and he refuted claims of Russian defeat in Syria, stating that Israel is the primary beneficiary. It has been remarked that Israel's Netanyahu is focusing on Iran following his successes against Hamas, Hezbollah, and Syria. The Hill comments as, Musk floods X with spending bill misinformation. The Atlantic comments as, the GOP is treating Musk like he's in charge. The Guardian comments as, Elon Musk is becoming a one-man rogue state, it's time we reined him in. YouTube announces stricter measures against clickbait titles in India. Influencers predict that Meta's platforms, particularly Instagram, will gain the most if a U.S. TikTok ban occurs, with Instagram projected to account for over half of Meta's U.S. ad revenue by 2025, according to a report. MrBeast leases Egyptian pyramids for 100 hours to create a YouTube video. Federal authorities claim Chinese government placed an agent in Southern California to sway local government decisions. China advises making the right choice following Trump's claim that he and she can resolve global issues. China is reportedly increasing its Pacific activities, with Taiwan invasion deemed not possible by 2027, according to Department of Defense officials. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 in the works for 2027 release. In Japan, Evangelion anime launches transforming fast food robots in McDonald's collaboration. Nintendo Switch finally surpasses PlayStation 2's lifetime sales in the U.S. Sweden will no longer fund UNRWA aid agency, minister says. AP comments as, for thousands of Jews, Israel still doesn't feel safe after the October 7th attacks, so they're leaving. In the U.S., EPA staffers demand Biden release climate funds withheld over Gaza. 7 months ago, a pro-Hamas group got $50 million U.S. grant under Inflation Reduction Act, senator says.
Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition. December 19, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. APT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die with a Smile. Madhubanti Bagshi and Divya present AJ Ki Rat. Peelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die with a Smile. Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, and Wham's Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top sellers starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy, Fueled Up, Master Spy, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024 to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones, and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis Image Large is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. A large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. Apple discontinues iPhone hardware subscription service development. Apple discusses AI feature implementation with Tencent and ByteDance in China, according to sources. EU increases demands on Apple to share features with competitors, while Apple argues that Meta's 15 data law requests would compromise privacy. GitHub introduces a complementary version of its Copilot. OpenAI reveals 1-800-CHAT-GPT, a service enabling phone calls and messages with ChatGPT. Microsoft has purchased approximately 500,000 NVIDIA Hopper chips this year, marking a significant acquisition of NVIDIA AI chips that surpasses that of its competitors. The U.S. Supreme Court has decided to review a case challenging the TikTok ban. According to Wall Street Journal, the U.S. is considering a ban on a Chinese-manufactured router used in millions of American homes, with TP-Link potentially facing a U.S. ban due to compromised routers being exploited for Chinese attacks. China has unveiled a hit list of U.S. naval targets that could be targeted in a future conflict. Roku locks exclusive U.S. streaming rights for X Games Aspen and a soon-to-be-announced X Games event coming summer 2025. The Golden Globes 2025 gift bags feature $1 million worth of items. Brazilian judge orders Adele song removed over plagiarism claim. In the United States, former President Trump insists on renegotiating a bipartisan budget agreement just days before the potential shutdown. Meanwhile, the House GOP, influenced by Elon Musk, is considering abandoning the spending bill. Mike Johnson is encountering increasing opposition from within the GOP as Musk advocates for a government shutdown. Additionally, a poll indicates that most Americans disapprove of Trump's suggestions to challenge the boundaries of democracy. Lastly, Democrats mock Trump as the vice president, while Musk interferes with the government funding bill. California has declared an emergency due to the bird flu outbreak. Meanwhile, officials in the U.S. have announced the eradication of invasive murder hornets. In the UK, police are reportedly destroying 100 dogs each month following the ban on XL bully breeds. Experiencing structural sexism from birth is linked to quicker memory decline in late life for both black and white women in the U.S. 13 ancient Egyptian mummies were discovered with gold tongues, believed to assist them in speaking in the afterlife. Simulations reveal that the ancient hominin Lucy was not an adept runner. Disney reaches $233 million settlement for minimum wage law violations. Teamsters initiate the most extensive strike against Amazon in U.S. history. Disney's settlement of Trump defamation case sparks controversy at ABC News. Alberta introduces a U.S. border security strategy featuring sheriffs, canines, and drones, while Canada suggests a collaborative police force with the U.S. to address Trump's border issues. Trump remarked that Canada becoming the 51st state would be a fantastic idea. A New York resident admits to running a clandestine police station for the Chinese government in Lower Manhattan. China refutes the existence of secret police stations following the man's guilty plea. The Federal Reserve in the United States has decreased interest rates by 0.25 percentage points. However, it anticipates fewer rate cuts in the year 2025. Meanwhile, the Bank of Japan has maintained its interest rates at 0.25%, resulting in the yen reaching a one-month low. Additionally, China is constructing the largest artificial island airport in Dalian. Elon Musk's alleged drug use and connections with Vladimir Putin have reportedly hindered SpaceX from seeking higher security clearance, according to a report. Following an investigation into January 6th, the House GOP has aligned with Trump and targeted Liz Cheney. Previously, Trump advocated for an FBI investigation into Republican Liz Cheney regarding her involvement in the January 6th panel. Trump mentioned that Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble due to her actions with the January 6th committee. Uber and its CEO have each contributed $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Chinese astronauts achieve a world record spacewalk lasting 9 hours. A Chinese company successfully tests a supersonic aircraft ramjet, advancing China's efforts to develop a supersonic engine capable of transporting passengers from Beijing to New York in just 2 hours.
NASA enveille à large Mars chopé featuring 6 rotorblades.
In Syria to Xinjiang link, China warns leaders in Damascus not to threaten security elsewhere. UN Migration Chief tells AFP, not advising large-scale returns to Syria now. Human Rights Watch says Israel's deprivation of water in Gaza is active genocide. CATL plans to construct 1,000 electric vehicle battery swap stations across China to alleviate range anxiety. Additionally, CATL has collaborated on the development of 10 new electric vehicle models that feature swappable batteries. The EPA has granted a waiver for California's advanced Clean Cars 2 regulations, which apply to light-duty vehicles, as well as its omnibus low NOx regulation for heavy-duty highway and off-road vehicles and engines. The announcement of the world's first grid-scale nuclear fusion power plant has been made in the United States. Chinese behavior remarks by MIT scientist Rosalind Picard rattle top AI conference, as NeurIPS keynote speaker apologizes for reference to Chinese student. Flat earthers befuddled as they visit Antarctica and Earth appears to be round. Cats beat babies at word association, study finds. A survey reports that more than half of Hong Kongers are experiencing depression, marking the highest level in 7 years. In 2025, the Oregon psilocybin industry in the U.S. will concentrate on refining its pioneering program. A study has revealed that a Chinese gene has remained unchanged for 3,000 years in the region known as the cradle of civilization. El Salvador plans to reduce its Bitcoin initiatives as part of a $1.4 billion IMF agreement. Hong Kong has granted licenses to 4 new cryptocurrency trading platforms in its regulatory advancement. Illegal casinos are exploiting the online game platform Roblox to attract children into gambling activities. Databricks co-founder proposes a $1 million reward to address AI coding challenges. IDC reveals that China has surpassed other countries to become the largest market for wrist-worn devices, driving global expansion. A Chinese self-driving trucking firm shifts its focus to generative AI for developing video games. Recent studies indicate that the moon might have originated just a brief time following the formation of the Earth. A full mastodon jaw was discovered in New York when a homeowner noticed teeth in their backyard. The earliest recognized mammal ancestors have been found on the Spanish island of Majorca.
Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, December 18, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. PT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die with a Smile. Madhubanti Bakshi and Divya present A.J. Key Rat. Peelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die with a Smile. Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. And Wham's Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top seller starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy fueled up. Master Spy, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024, to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis Image Large is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. a large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. FTC, Illinois Attorney General take action against Grubhub for harming diners, workers, and small businesses, as company to pay $25 million, end junk fees and backup earnings claims to resolve charges of consumer protection and competition law violations. FTC issues rules requiring hotels, ticket sellers to reveal junk fees. In the U.S., students overpaid elite colleges $685 million, price-fixing suit says. 2 months ago it has been reported as Harvard and Yale among dozens of universities targeted in financial aid price-fixing lawsuit. Meta has been penalized with a fine of $263 million due to a security breach in 2018 that impacted approximately 3 million Facebook users in the European Union. Interpol is calling for the discontinuation of the term pig butchering, as it is believed to cause distress to victims of online scams. A recent poll in the United States reveals that 41% of young voters consider the killing of the United Healthcare CEO to be an acceptable action. Reuters indicates that China intends to set a record budget deficit of 4% of GDP in 2025, according to sources. CNBC states that UK inflation increased to 2.6% in November, aligning with expectations, as UK inflation reaches an 8-month high of 2.6%, prompting calls to maintain interest rates. It has been noted that the Biden administration's gas export report might challenge Trump's energy policy, as the Biden administration releases an LNG export study, advising caution on new permits. BBC Studios and the Walt Disney Company have unveiled their first Bluey animated feature film. Tom Cruise has been honored with the U.S. Navy's highest civilian award. The directors for Beyond the Spider-Verse have been announced as Bob Persichetti and Justin K. Thompson. The Supreme Court declined to hear appeals from broadband groups challenging New York's rate caps, upholding the state's low-income broadband rate law. Elon Musk and SpaceX are under federal scrutiny for breaching security reporting regulations. It has been reported that Shine will need to hand over Indian data and control of local operations to re-enter the Indian market. Russia apprehends an Uzbek citizen in connection with a bomb attack that killed a high-ranking general. Taiwan is negotiating with Amazon's Kuiper regarding satellite communications due to concerns about China. The Department of Homeland Security reports that China, Russia, Iran, and Israel are using SS-7 to spy on individuals in the United States. YouTube announces that its technology will soon detect AI replicas of celebrities and creators. This comes as YouTube collaborates with CAA to allow talent to identify and remove AI deepfakes of themselves. Meanwhile, a U.S. trade tribunal determines that Lenovo smartphones violate Ericsson patents. Additionally, Forbes is severing relationships with freelance writers due to Google spam policies. The European Super League has been reintroduced as the Unify League, which will be available for free viewing and will include 96 clubs. The NFL has signed an agreement with Betches to create football content specifically aimed at Gen Z and millennial women. Conor McGregor has expressed his willingness to participate in a boxing match with Logan Paul, which is scheduled to take place in India. Rivian will reduce vehicle production in 2024 due to supply chain problems that have intensified recently. Meanwhile, Reuters indicates that the Trump transition team intends to implement a comprehensive reversal of Biden's electric vehicle and emissions policies, with Trump also planning to decrease funding for electric vehicles and charging infrastructure. Additionally, Boston Dynamics is reducing its workforce by 5% as it faces financial difficulties. The notorious paper that widely promoted an unverified COVID-19 treatment has been withdrawn. According to the New York Times, major corporations accepted undisclosed payments to facilitate the unrestricted distribution of opioids. An Alabama woman is reportedly in exceptional health following the third-ever pig kidney transplant. According to doctors, she receives a kidney from a pig years after donating one herself. NATO assumes control of military aid coordination to Kyiv from the U.S., according to a source. In the United States, a lawsuit alleges that the State Department has established loopholes for Israel regarding military aid and human rights, while Palestinians file a lawsuit against the State Department over U.S. military assistance to Israel. The BBC states that a plot to assassinate the Pope has been thwarted by UK intelligence. Musk and Trump are perceived similarly by Americans, according to an APNORC poll. Trump declares that federal employees unwilling to return to the office will be dismissed. It has been reported that Elon Musk is now wealthier than Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg together. UniCredit increases its control of voting rights in Commerzbank to 28%. Starting in 2027, the U.S. will mandate rear seat belt reminders in all vehicles. A driverless bus service in Scotland will be discontinued because of insufficient interest. Women victimized in rape club at California prison get record $116 million settlement. U.S. repatriates 3 Guantanamo detainees, leaving 27 at prison, as U.S. releases a Kenyan prisoner held for nearly 18 years without charges, and Pentagon repatriates 2 Malaysian prisoners who admitted to war crimes linked to Bali bombing. Suspect charged with killing United Healthcare's CEO as an act of terrorism. Popeye and Tintin will become public domain characters in 2025, joining works by Faulkner and Hemingway. Disney has removed a transgender storyline from Pixar's Win or Lose series, stating that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects on their own terms. A UCLA diversity report reveals that white men dominate the most watched streaming shows as lead actors, series creators, and audiences desire fresh, more diverse content. Canada has implemented economic sanctions targeting 5 Venezuelan officials, among them the president of the High Court. Authorities in the United States have apprehended 2 Colombian individuals involved in human smuggling. Bolivia has released an arrest warrant for former President Morales concerning trafficking a minor. Walmart is testing body cameras for staff, amid rising shopper violence in the retail sector. Honda and Nissan are set to discuss a possible large-scale merger, following a joint research agreement on fundamental technologies for future SDV platforms. Newborns of TSMC employees in Taiwan account for 1.8% of the nation's total births in 2023. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella claims that Google earns more revenue from Windows than Microsoft itself, highlighting Google's stronghold in search and distribution. Bing search is enhanced with speed, accuracy, and efficiency using SLM models in TensorRT-LLM. Seagate introduces a 32 TB Exos M hard drive utilizing HAMR technology. U.S. imposes sanctions on an entity and individuals involved in a virtual currency money laundering network, supporting the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. U.S. targets North Korea with sanctions for backing Russia and advancing ballistic missile technology. U.S. imposes sanctions on drug traffickers associated with New Zealand. In the United States, the Department of Homeland Security (DHS) has introduced a final rule to assist companies in filling more positions and to enhance worker protections within the H-2 programs. Additionally, the DHS has fortified the H-1B program, enabling U.S. employers to more swiftly fill essential roles. Meanwhile, Trump's transition team is considering the expansion of ankle monitors for illegal immigrants who are not in custody. Furthermore, a survey reveals that over half of Generation X parents are concerned about financially supporting their children into adulthood. Approximately 36 high-rise buildings in South Florida are reportedly sinking. Paul Watson, a whaling activist, has been freed after Denmark declined to extradite him. 5 months prior, he was detained in Greenland at Japan's request. Scientists have discovered that barn owls camouflage themselves by mimicking the moon. Get your daily news fix with NewsSourceScrawler's latest edition, December 17, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. PT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die with a Smile. Madhu Banti Bakshi and Divya present A.J. Ki Rat. Peelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die with a Smile. Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, and Wham's Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top seller starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy Fueled Up Master Spy Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024, to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis ImageLarge is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. A large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. Tokyo introduces a free daycare policy to encourage an increase in the birth rate. It has been described as Wall Street bankers working 90 hours a week, using Adderall at their desks. Research indicates that over 1 million vapes are discarded daily in the UK. In the UK, Watchdog is set to release new guidelines following a report that suggests air fryers might be eavesdropping. An astonishingly lifelike AI Santa is now available for free use, potentially rendering traditional mall Santas obsolete. Googly eyes have been spotted on public art in Oregon. Swedish minister considers additional strategies to address the energy crisis, attributing it to Germany's nuclear phase-out. Serbia aims to decrease Russian control in the oil giant to steer clear of sanctions. With the U.S. preparing to impose sanctions on Serbia's leading oil company due to Russian ownership, Vučić states. Finland becomes the first country globally to prohibit cargo ships from discharging wastewater. In Brazil, CID informed the PF that funds for the coup attempt came from individuals involved in agribusiness. Additionally, Braga Neto became the first 4-stars general to be arrested in the country since 1964. A video suggests the Assad regime's participation in extensive illicit drug trafficking. During a French league match between PSG and Lyon, the referee paused the game due to homophobic chants. Waymo is broadening its global reach by introducing its autonomous vehicle fleet to Tokyo. Meanwhile, ARM and Qualcomm have initiated a trial concerning AI PC chips. Additionally, gallium prices have surged to their highest level since 2011 due to export restrictions imposed by China. Google DeepMind's VO2 AI video generator surpasses OpenAI's Sora by offering 4K resolution. YouTube is now allowing creators to choose to participate in third-party AI training. Meta is introducing live AI, translations, and Shazam capabilities to its smart glasses. SoftBank CEO and Trump reveal a $100 billion investment in the U.S. by the company. Kioxia, a semiconductor leader, plans to go public on the 18th, focusing on AI applications, but its market capitalization is under half of the anticipated value. Time, an African digital bank, secures a $250 million funding round led by Nubank, valuing the company at $1.5 billion. Amazon allegedly ignored internal injury warnings. According to a Senate investigation, Alibaba from China plans to sell its department store division, resulting in a $1.3 billion loss. Australians are being cautioned to brace for extreme heat and potential fires, affecting millions. In the U.S., 4 National Film Registry Dirty Dancing, Beverly Hills Cop, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, among 25 movies added 2024. Scream 7 sets Mason Gooding to return for horror sequel. A once-a-century superflare from the sun is long overdue, scientists say, as violent superflares explode from sun-like stars every 100 years. Reuters indicates that Congo has initiated criminal complaints against Apple in Europe concerning conflict minerals. Meta is set to pay $31.85 million to resolve an Australian privacy lawsuit associated with the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Trump has convened with the TikTok CEO as the video app contests a potential ban, with TikTok appealing to the Supreme Court to halt a law that might prohibit the popular app. YouTube is currently testing a feature that allows creators to post voice notes as comments. The developer of Balatro humorously criticizes Peggy for rating the game 18+ due to its evil playing cards and suggests adding microtransactions like those in EA Sports FC 25 to potentially reduce the rating to a 3+. The producer of Black Myth, Wukong, appears frustrated about not winning Game of the Year. Pope reveals he was target of suicide bomb attempt during 2021 Iraq visit, and Pope Francis reveals 2 attempts on his life during 2021 visit to Iraq. U.S. probes Spain for reportedly blocking port for ships with weapons for Israel. 10 days ago, shipping giant Maersk violated Spanish embargo on sending military goods to Israel, researchers say. Trump says Russia and Ukraine peace may be harder than Middle East. Less than 50% of Latinos in the U.S. have sufficient health insurance. The U.S. Census Bureau is now including refugees in its immigrant statistics. BofA Global Research anticipates that 2025 will see continued strength in the equity market despite macroeconomic uncertainties. BofA economists and strategists predict that the U.S. economy will surpass expectations, and the S&P 500 will reach 6,666 by the end of the year. Study suggests that the axon terminals of neurons might be irregular in shape rather than smooth. Distinct microbial communities have been found under the icy surface of Antarctica's Lake Enigma. Research indicates that humans began feeding salmon to dogs around 12,000 years ago, possibly indicating the early stages of our bond with canines. Chinese e-commerce merchants established their presence in Russian online marketplaces. Temu becomes the top downloaded app on the U.S. App Store in 2024. Walmart collaborates with delivery company Meituan to enhance China e-commerce sales. Khloe Kardashian will debut her video podcast on X in January. A study by York University suggests that banning smartphones at school leads to better sleep and an enhanced mood. The European Union plans to investigate TikTok's involvement in the Romanian elections. Kamala Harris aide admits Democrats losing hold of culture as influencer media shifts right. Trump says he'll sue pollster and Seltzer for wrong prediction. AP reports that man sentenced for helping pregnant Chinese women travel to give birth in the U.S., as Rancho Cucamonga man sentenced to more than 3 years in prison for operating birth tourism scheme for affluent Chinese clients. Ukraine claims it's behind Moscow blast that killed head of Russia's nuclear defense forces. EU moves towards suspending visa-free travel for Georgian diplomats. First batch of U.S.-made M1A2T tanks arrives in Taiwan. Trump expresses willingness to pardon NYC Mayor Eric Adams. NYC Mayor's campaign rejects millions in public matching funds. Steve Bannon asserts Trump's eligibility to run again in 2028. Trump claims he called off his trip to Bedminster due to drones in New Jersey, while a drone detection system is now in place in New York following unexplained sightings. The UK is reconsidering social media regulation following the far-right riots of summer 2024, and is examining ways to compel more transparency in AI training models. Nearly 800 individuals have been apprehended in connection with the Nigerian crypto romance scam. Syria's former leader, Assad, claims he intended to continue the conflict, but his Russian allies arranged for his evacuation. According to the Financial Times, Assad transported $250 million in cash from Syria to Russia over a span of 2 years. Meanwhile, a prisoner who previously identified himself as a victim of the Assad regime is reportedly an intelligence officer, as stated by local residents. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, December 16, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. PT features Rose and Bruno Mars. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on Die with a Smile. Madhu Banti Bakshi and Divya present A.J. Key Rat. Peelings is by Kundakuri Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa. Spotify's global weekly top songs from December 6 to December 12, 2024. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Die with a Smile. Rose and Bruno Mars APT. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. And Wham! Last Christmas. Nintendo US digital top seller starting December 9, 2024. No More Snow, Hogwarts Legacy, Fueled Up, Master Spy, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Discover the globally top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, December 3, 2024, to Tuesday, December 10, 2024. Path of Exile 2, Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG Battlegrounds, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and EPA have issued a joint fact sheet highlighting the dangers that internet-connected HMIs present to the WWS sector. Jeffrey Xiang's Trellis ImageLarge is a substantial 3D asset generation model. It processes text or image prompts to produce high-quality 3D assets in formats like radiance fields, 3D Gaussians, and meshes. The foundation of Trellis is a unified structured latent SLAT representation, enabling decoding into various output formats. It utilizes rectified flow transformers specifically designed for SLAT as its robust backbones. A large-scale pre-trained models with parameters reaching up to 2 billion, trained on a vast 3D asset dataset containing 500K diverse objects. Trellis notably outperforms existing methods, including recent ones at comparable scales, and demonstrates adaptable output format selection and local 3D editing capabilities, which were absent in previous models. UK collaborates with Italy and Japan to create a British fighter jet to compete with America's F-35. German far-right leader raised doubts about NATO membership. 2 weeks ago, the German spy chief warned that Russia might challenge NATO's commitment to the Mutual Defense Clause. Norway plans to train Ukrainian F-16 pilots in Portugal. Kraken announced that 73% of cryptocurrency users intend to maintain their investments in the year 2025. In 2024, Solana emerged as the most attractive platform for new cryptocurrency developers, according to Electric Capital. The CFTC has filed a lawsuit against a pastor from Washington for a $6 million cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. In the UK, Labour's promise to construct 1.5 million homes is hindered by a national crisis of skills shortages, according to a housing expert. 5 months ago, Labour instructed developers to prioritize building houses over addressing pollution. In the U.S., the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage has decreased to 6.6%. The Bank of England is adopting a cautious approach following a year that did not meet expectations on interest rates. Tokyo introduces a free daycare policy to encourage an increase in the birth rate. It has been described as Wall Street bankers working 90 hours a week, using Adderall at their desks. Research indicates that over 1 million vapes are discarded daily in the UK. In the UK, Watchdog is set to release new guidelines following a report that suggests air fryers might be eavesdropping. An astonishingly lifelike AI Santa is now available for free use, potentially rendering traditional mall Santas obsolete. Googly eyes, which have inexplicably gained popularity, have been spotted on public art in Oregon. In the United States, teenagers are reportedly leaving X and Facebook behind, with TikTok and WhatsApp gaining popularity, according to a claim in a report. Bloomberg notes that TikTok has hired experts for jobs, which contrasts with Trump's unclear position. The Mozy social networking app has been introduced to facilitate the development of more personal connections. Israel plans to shut its embassy in Dublin following Ireland's backing of a petition to the International Court of Justice regarding genocide. Experts suggest that Hong Kong and Xinjiang might be central to Kazakhstan's approach towards China. Iran's administration has decided not to enforce a new hijab law. Russia will introduce visa-free travel for Indian tourists beginning in 2025. Milan's Via Monte Napoleon is now recognized as the world's most expensive shopping street. British Sikhs are reportedly being questioned about their opinions on India at UK airports, according to a Labour MP. Netanyahu asserts that Israel has no interest in confronting Syria, while simultaneously planning to double its population on the occupied Golan Heights, citing threats from Syria. This move has been described as Israel expanding into the Golan Heights, creating a new front in Syria. The U.S. requests Israel to authorize urgent military assistance to Palestinian security forces. Turkey claims that Syria's new rulers have agreed to dismantle Kurdish forces. Microsoft has announced the removal of passwords for 1 billion users, coinciding with a 200% increase in attacks. In 2024, AI assistants enabled Telegram to eliminate 15 million potentially harmful groups and channels. Germany has taken action to block badbox malware, which was found on 30,000 Android devices. Swedish minister considers additional strategies to address the energy crisis, attributing it to Germany's nuclear phase-out. Serbia aims to decrease Russian control in the oil giant to steer clear of sanctions. With the U.S. preparing to impose sanctions on Serbia's leading oil company due to Russian ownership, Vučić states. Finland becomes the first country globally to prohibit cargo ships from discharging wastewater. A photocatalytic system using light can decompose PFAS at ambient temperature. China introduces a new compact radiation detection chip to enhance semiconductor self-reliance. A novel mathematical model proposes the possibility of reviving cells. Romney forecasts Vance as the GOP's 2028 nominee, asserts MAGA is the Republican Party, and states you can't complain if Trump fulfills his promises. Trump and his appointees are poised to initiate additional lawsuits concerning unfavorable media portrayals. TikTok influencers are leaving Romania due to a tax investigation into their involvement in the elections. Chemical castration involves medication to reduce pedophiles' sexual desires, but experts indicate it does not stop attacks. Survival rates for melanoma are associated with the thickness of the tumor. A study reveals that refrigerated raw milk can contain the influenza virus for up to 5 days. Nearly 1,000 individuals are believed to have perished following the impact of Cyclone Cheeto on Mayotte. The WWF has identified a vampire hedgehog and an eyelash viper among over 200 newly discovered species in Southeast Asia. A study reveals that Britain is at the forefront of global efforts to suppress climate activism. Hong Kong NGO alerts to increase in student suicides following record of 10 cases at term beginning. Survey reveals that 1 in 4 parents are employing the tactic of withholding gifts to manage their children's behavior. In the United States, the Social Security retirement age is scheduled to be adjusted in 2025. Greece plans to limit bank fees for money transfers, according to the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, Russia is preparing for a significant rate increase due to concerns about inflation. 10 days prior, the Russian central bank governor stated that the December 20th rate hike is not predetermined. Additionally, The Economist notes that the World Bank is facing challenges in assisting all 78 impoverished nations, despite announcing a record $100 billion in support for the world's poorest countries. Open global trade is the sole solution to feeding the world, according to the WTO chief. The UK has become the first European member of the Indo-Pacific Trade Bloc (CPTPP). Nicaragua has introduced a new canal route to compete with Panama. Apple is reportedly working on a large foldable iPad, aiming for a 2028 release, and is planning thinner, foldable iPhones to stimulate growth. The film Kraven the Hunter has opened with $11 million at the box office, marking the lowest debut for Sony/Marvel. The London Stock Exchange is experiencing its largest departure in 15 years, as the former chief executive raises concerns. In Brazil, CID informed the PF that funds for the coup attempt came from individuals involved in agribusiness. Additionally, Braga Neto became the first 4-stars general to be arrested in the country since 1964. A video suggests the Assad regime's participation in extensive illicit drug trafficking. During a French league match between PSG and Lyon, the referee paused the game due to homophobic chants. Get your daily news fix with NewsSourceScrawler's latest edition, December 15, 2024, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from November 29, 2024 to December 5, 2024. 1. APT. Rose and Bruno Mars, Die With a Smile. 2. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, Die With a Smile.
Tretji Madhubanti Bagchi, Divya, AJ Kiraat.
4. Kundakori Shankar Babu and Lakshmi Dasa, Peelings.
5 Oscar Maidon y Fuerza Regida, Tu Boda.
Spotify's weekly top songs global chart, from Friday, November 29, 2024, to Thursday, December 5, 2024, features the following songs. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
APT, Rosé, by Bruno Mars.
Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Last Christmas by Wham. From the Netflix Global Top 10 list, here are the most viewed films in English. Our Little Secret, Spellbound, The Merry Gentleman, Madagascar, Escape to Africa. And here are the most viewed films in non-English languages. Max, Lucky Bhaskar, The Snow Sister,
Sikandar ka Mujaddar.
The Lost Children, Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from December 9, 2024. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Stardew Valley, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, My Sims, Cozy Bundle, Steam's Hottest Games, Global Top Selling and Top Played Games across Steam. From the Top 100 Products by Revenue List, for Tuesday, November 26, 2024 to Tuesday, December 3, 2024. Counter-Strike 2, PUBG Battlegrounds, Cyberpunk 2077, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and its partners have released joint guidance on a PRC-affiliated threat actor compromising networks of global telecommunications providers. CISA has released a new public version of the CDM data model document. ASD's ACSC, CISA, and U.S. and international partners have released guidance on selecting secure and verifiable technologies. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Shaker Labs' AW Portrait CN, a new AI portrait generator. AW Portrait CN is an AI portrait generator based on the Flux.1 dev model. It's trained on images that better represent the appearance and aesthetics of Chinese people. The generator can produce various types of portraits, including indoor and outdoor shots, fashion, and studio photos. One notable improvement over the original version is AW Portrait CN's enhanced skin quality. It achieves a more delicate and realistic look. To further enhance the realism of the generated images, it can be seamlessly integrated into the AW Portrait SR workflow. Artists might receive right to personality in UK AI Protections review. Paul McCartney changes his mind on AI after creating a new Beatles song, now worried it will destroy the music industry. Hayley Atwell is set to reprise her Agent Carter role in Marvel Studios' Avengers: Doomsday. Hezbollah leader acknowledges the group's loss of its supply path via Syria. The IDF perceives an opportunity for strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities following the dismantling of Syria's air defenses. A Syrian Druze village, apprehensive of Islamist insurgents, requests annexation to Israel, viewing it as the lesser evil. Ancient Homo sapiens genomes indicate interbreeding with Neanderthals for more than 7,000 years. A study suggests that intermittent fasting might decelerate hair growth. San Francisco's downtown area receives its first tornado warning ever recorded. Rhode Island reports a probable breach of personal data in a cyber attack on its social services, with hackers extorting ransom from residents following the incident. The FTC alerts that text message job scams are becoming more interactive and prevalent. In the United Kingdom, Welsh police departments introduced their inaugural facial recognition mobile application. China's yearly growth is expected to reach target of 5%, according to a senior official. Moody's downgraded France's credit rating shortly after the appointment of a new prime minister, and it also reduced Slovakia's credit rating due to fiscal and political risks. Trump is considering privatizing the U.S. Postal Service because of financial losses. In Hong Kong, a survey shows that almost 48.3% of young people feel like failures, highlighting the effects on mental health. Mexico has implemented an AI-driven application aimed at stopping suicides. A study reveals that white neighborhoods in the United States are equipped with a greater number of EPA air quality monitors. Chanel reveals Mathieu Blazy as the new artistic director. Mbappé secures his fourth French Player of the Year award. In Paris, JR plans to convert the Pont Neuf into a temporary grotto, paying tribute to Christo and Jean-Claude. A Chinese woman in labor faced an unexpected challenge when her car's software update prevented her from starting it, leading to an emergency cesarean section. A Waymo autonomous vehicle experienced an issue, becoming trapped in a continuous roundabout loop. Chinese law enforcement has introduced a novel robot, resembling the BB-8 from Star Wars, to patrol streets and pursue suspects. Brazil's former defense minister arrested in 2022 coup plot investigation. Georgian lawmakers elect far-right, anti-West hardliner as new president. Apple CEO visits Mar-a-Lago, joining list of tech execs seemingly courting Trump. ABC will provide $15 million to Donald Trump's presidential library to resolve a defamation lawsuit. An Australian gemstone incorporated into China's hypersonic weapons may pose a security threat, according to a Chinese study. The FBI reports that numerous drone sightings in New Jersey are actually cases of manned aircraft being misidentified as drones. FIFA broadcasts map of Ukraine without Crimea during 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Former Russian President Medvedev says, new very close regions may join Russia. U.S. supplies Ukraine with autonomous welding units for energy infrastructure repair.